Good morning, afternoon, or evening from whenever or wherever you are watching this video from. I am Jack Adamas, back with my Premier League football predictions, episode 31, game week 31. Let's get straight into it.
Gonna be a good day, a good vibe, order in a little Postmates in my...
We start game week 31 with the 8 PM kickoff tonight, which sees Bournemouth hosting Manchester United. Bournemouth extended their unbeaten run last weekend to 10 matches with 4 wins and 6 draws to their name now. Although that is a good run, they have drawn their last 4 games, 3 of which have ended goalless, so they do need to start finding the back of the net, and that is their problem of late, as it is clear to see. United turned around that first defeat under Carrick at the first time of trying as they beat Aston Villa last weekend, which now means Michael Carrick has won 7 of his 9 games in charge of Manchester United. And it's another great opportunity here for them to get some points on the board, where if they win here, they will move 6 points clear of 4th. Bournemouth, though, they are currently on their longest ever unbeaten streak against Manchester United, with 2 wins and 3 draws in the last 5 Premier League matches between these two sides. I do think that will stay the same here. I don't think they'll lose, but I can see the honours being shared here in a 1-1 draw. Moving on to Saturday now, we start with the half-12 kickoff, which sees Brighton at home to Liverpool. Brighton was slowly dropping down the table, and that was down to their horrendous form between the months of December and February. However, they've turned that round of late, winning 3 of their last 4 Premier League matches, and now they've given themselves an outside chance of finishing in the European places this season. If they do get another victory here, it will move them just 6 points away from Liverpool in the table. Liverpool's weird season just keeps getting weirder. They lost 1-0 in their first leg against Galatasaray in the Champions League, and then they followed that up by drawing in the Premier League with Tottenham. But they've turned that round this midweek as they beat Galatasaray 4-0 in the Champions League to qualify. My main question is, where has that performance been hiding all season? But with Brighton avoiding defeat in 4 of their last 5 home Premier League matches against Liverpool, I think that will continue here, as I reckon the honours will be shared again in this one in a high-scoring 2-2 draw. Moving on to the 3 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, we have Fulham at home to Burnley. Fulham currently sit 11th in the table, but only 4 points off 7th, so they still have a good opportunity of finishing in the European places this season. However, their form guide doesn't say so, where they've only won 2 of their last 7 matches, and they've lost 4 of those games. They've also lost and drawn their last 2 matches against teams in the bottom 5, so this will be their 3rd consecutive game against a team in the bottom 5. Burnley currently sit 9 points from safety with only 8 games to go, so they need to get some victories on the board as soon as possible, but it doesn't look likely though, as they are winless in their last 5 matches, and although they did get a point in their last game, they have failed to score in their last 2 matches. On a positive note for Burnley though, they have won 4 of their last 5 visits to Craven Cottage, but I don't think that'll be the same this time round, as I can see Fulham getting the victory here in a 2-0 win. Next we travel to the Hill Dickinson Stadium, where we have the half-5 kickoff between Everton and Chelsea. Everton currently sit 8th in the Premier League table, and they look more and more likely that they'll be playing back in Europe again next season if they stay on the trajectory that they are on right now. However, they can't lose focus, as they could easily drop out of those places as they find themselves only 3 points above 12th. And Chelsea come here on a very bad run of form, where they've lost their last 3 matches on an aggregate scoreline of 2 goals scored and 9 goals conceded in those 3 matches, and they have only won 1 of their last 7 games in all competitions, which has left their season in tatters, as they do find themselves 6th in the table, which is obviously not good enough to play Champions League football next season. And Everton have only lost 1 of their last 8 home Premier League matches against Chelsea, but I do think that will change this time round, as this is a must-win for Chelsea here, and I can see Chelsea getting a 2-1 victory here and doing their first league double over Everton since 2016-17. We now travel to Ellen Road, where we have the 8 PM kickoff between Leeds and Brentford. Leeds find themselves being dragged back into the relegation battle, as they now find themselves only 3 points above the drop zone and winless in their last 5 matches. They did get a draw last time out though, where they drew with 10 men against Crystal Palace, but last weekend I said it, that will be their problem this season, where they've drawn so many games, so they do need to start turning those draws into wins if they are going to stay in the Premier League this season. Brentford are currently on the opposite side of the table, where they are pushing for the European places, as they currently sit 7th in the league. They did drop 2 points in their last match though, as they took a 2-0 lead against bottom of the table Wolves, and they got pegged back in that game and drew 2-2. They will be confident coming to this one though, as they have won 11 of their last 13 Premier League matches against newly promoted sides. But Leeds have only lost 1 of their last 16 home league fixtures against Brentford. I think that'll be 1 out of 17 come full time, as I can see this one also ending in a draw for Leeds in a 1-1 scoreline. Moving on to Sunday now, where we have a massive game to be kicked off at 12 o'clock, as we have the derby between Newcastle and Sunderland. Newcastle got battered 7-2 by Barcelona midweek in the Champions League, as in that second half they just fell apart. But surely if they needed a game to bounce back and to come back strong and to be focused on, it would be this game, as this derby means everything to these local lads as they play for bragging rights in this one. Sunderland currently only sit 2 points behind Newcastle in the table, so they know if they get the victory here, they will leapfrog them in the league. They do only have 2 wins in their last 8 competitive matches though, but I really don't think that matters here, as the form guide goes out the window in this one. But I do believe that Newcastle will make it an 100% winning month in the Premier League for the first time since November 2018, as I can see them winning here in a 2-0 victory. The first of 2 games now to be kicked off at 2:15 on Sunday. We start with Aston Villa at home to West Ham. Another game here where we have 2 teams desperate for points for different reasons. We start with Aston Villa, who beat Lille yesterday in the Europa League to secure a quarter-final place in the competition. However, in the Premier League, they are winless in their last 4 matches, losing their last 3 games in a row as well, which has seen them move from comfortable in 3rd to only 2 points off 5th spot. West Ham currently sit 18th in the Premier League, but they know a victory here will secure them that they will be outside of the relegation zone come the end of this game week, and with only 1 defeat in their last 5 matches, they will be confident that they can come here and leave here with all 3 points. Aston Villa though, they are unbeaten in their last 6 Premier League head-to-heads against West Ham, with 3 wins and 3 draws, but they have only scored once in their last 6 Premier League matches, and I think that'll be the same come full time, as I can see this one ending in a 1-1 draw. And to round up Game Week 31 on Sunday at 2:15, we have Game of the Weekend as 16th plays 17th in the Premier League as Tottenham host Nottingham Forest. What an important game we have here in the relegation battle this season, as we have Tottenham here who come into this game and they haven't got a Premier League victory in their last 12 Premier League matches. However, in their last 2 games, they've shown some fight as they drew with Liverpool, and then Igor Tudor got his first victory as Tottenham boss as they beat Atletico Madrid in the midweek in the Champions League. However, they will need to be bang on it though if they are going to get another victory here, as they look to secure only their 3rd home league win of the season. Nottingham Forest this season are the perfect example of be careful what you wish for because you just might get it, as after they sacked Sean Dyche just over a month ago, in terms of the league, Vitor Pereira is winless as he's drawn 2 and lost 2 of his 4 matches in charge. However, they did qualify yesterday in the Europa League as they beat Midtjylland on penalties, so they will have to build on that as they come into this one, as they do look to move outside of the relegation zone where they are just outside it on goal difference. Nottingham Forest won this fixture last year in a 2-1 victory. However, I don't think they'll do the same this year. I can see Spurs getting their revenge and winning this one in a 2-1 scoreline themselves. But if they do lose here, I can honestly see them going down this season. Thank you very much if you are still here at the end of my video. I really do appreciate the love and support I've been getting from you guys. Please do continue to like, share, but most importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Have a good weekend, guys. And remember, if you don't shoot, you can't score. Bye guys, have a good weekend.